Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at Mad World Tarot. A meltingly hot Mad World Tarot. I have to tell you, the dog days of summer have finally arrived. The cat, poor old Fluffy, is collapsed under a chair, stretched out. She hasn't moved all day, and I do envy her. But I have scraped myself up, and I'm here at the tarot table because we still have interesting stories to look at, and two people who might be riding to the rescue. That's our theme of today. And the first one who might be riding to the rescue is Prince George. And this is a Neil Sean story. And according to Neil Sean, Prince George is quite keen on rolling up his sleeves and mucking in. Now that the monarchy is short-handed, and his mother out of action, his grandfather out of action, and so Prince George has indicated, again allegedly, that he would quite like to become a part-time royal as soon as possible, and I think the age that was suggested was 18, so that's not exactly round the corner. There's a lot of stuff still to happen to Prince George, quite perilous waters he's got to navigate before he gets to 18. He might feel quite differently at that stage, of course. I'm laughing, just imagining what his parents are maybe about to go through. But so far they have done very well, because according to the story, he not only understands what the monarchy is all about, well done William and Catherine, he also has enjoyed his experiences as a public face of the monarchy so far. And off the top of my head, he was at Wimbledon with his dad, and he was all dressed up, and he seemed to enjoy that very much. He was at the coronation. He played a role, quite a significant role in the coronation, enjoyed that. So far so good. Let's hope it carries on that way. I have the new Palladini Tarot on the tarot table. Oops, the box has sprung open. We're going to have a look. We're going to see what sort of danger the monarchy is in right now, with being so slimmed down that it's kind of become an Ozempic monarchy itself. And how keen is he really to get involved right now at the tender age of whatever he is, 10 or so, I think. Parents. How do William and Catherine feel about this? You know, they've got to put him out to work at some stage. And how do they feel? How do the ones in Montecito, or wherever they are, Jamaica, Costa Rica, under a bridge, who knows where they are, those ones, how do those ones feel about Prince George becoming the face of the British royal family? I can't imagine that that's going to go down too well. Harry, of course, has indicated that it was the prospect of Prince George becoming a working royal that made him realize he only had 10 years or so to make his mark on the world. Silly boy. And then we'll see if George is going to be set to work and how will it go. So that's our reading. Let's remind you, let me get my act together here, that it is tarot for fun and entertainment. It is all just my opinion. It is all just speculation. And I just read energy, royal family energy, archetypal energy, and disclaimer in the box below. Let's see how Prince George is going to go. And you'll notice I'm not using my usual tarot decks for Prince George, because all grown up, if he understands what's involved, he's put his hand up and said, yeah, I'm happy to do it. I see the need, I see the problem, and you can count on me. Then we deserve the new Palladini Tarot, which is one of my most regal tarots. Interesting that he can be at 10 so invested in the whole thing, whereas his uncle at nearly 40 can be having fun in Jamaica at a film premiere. Anyway, Ace of Rods in reverse, that's our underlying energy. A couple of things from that card. It is the card of new passions, new interest, new enthusiasm for something. So it has shown up, and that's a positive sign, but it has shown up in the reverse. All right. New projects, as I say, new passion, new leadership. and new ideas, new creativity, all of that stuff, new life force that's come into a situation, which is exactly what we are talking about. It's in reverse. It doesn't tell me, reversals can be read in various ways. This reversal doesn't tell me that this is a whole big lie, this story. It's telling me that it's kind of delayed. And cards in the reverse can mean that. They can mean that the energy is there, the energy is in place. It just really has to be activated. So if you're doing your own readings and you get a card that you think would really be a brilliant card if it was upright, and you can't understand why the universe is giving you the card in reverse, bear that in mind. That it can be that there might be something, a little thing that you have to tweak, or a trigger that has to unlock the energy, activate the energy. And I think this is the case with Prince George. I think the energy is there, it's locked and loaded. It just actually has to be released. So let's see. That's the underlying energy. This is the hello. This is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with the Seven of Swords in reverse. That's very interesting. Because the Seven of Swords is the ghosting, the disappearing act, people making off for stuff that's not rightfully theirs, people leaving the monarchy in the lurch, really. And we know who the people are who have left the monarchy in the lurch. And it's in reverse. So it tells me that there is some understanding that this situation needs to be remedied, that people have abandoned or betrayed or left them in the lurch. And how we're going to fix this Seven of Swords in reverse can mean other things. It can mean sort of acknowledging, admitting, confessing, but it's a realization. It's almost like return whatever has been removed, has been taken away. We need it returned, please, by such and such a time tomorrow, and then everything will be okay. Is that kind of an energy? So he's aware that something has gone wrong. There has been some sort of mischief, and this mischief needs to be put right. And I'm getting a terribly dutiful and almost sorrowful energy here, which is making me rather sad. And that's why we need to look at the parents to see how the parents feel about him putting his hand up and saying, don't worry, Mommy and Daddy, I will fix everything. I'm sure you've all been there. And part of you thinks, well, what a wonderful child I have, and part of you thinks, well, I wish they never had to say that or think that. So it's kind of a conflicting energy for me as a reader. So let's move on. How much trouble is the monarchy in its slimmed down phase, a too slim phase? Five of Rods in reverse. Five of Wands, that's the conflict and struggle card, family infighting. And the infighting has taken a toll on this family very clearly. With that card, people being too competitive, too eager to grab the spoils and get to the top of the greasy pole. It's in the reverse. It's now time to stop all of that. It's time to fix it. It's time for everybody to be harmonious and stop thinking of themselves and start to actually think about the team. And again, I get the sense that this is what Prince George realizes, and his uncle and his aunt, far much older, don't seem to realize. So let's see, is he truly eager to roll up his sleeves and get busy as a part-time royal? Of course, he would be off studying or doing whatever he wants to do, gap year, as his father and his uncle did at that age. Or is this all just talk? What's really going on for him? He sees how unhappy everyone is. Four of Wands in reverse. We're dealing with a little empath. And I think we've realized that. Very sensitive, very perceptive. Four of Wands in reverse, Rods in reverse, the happy home card when it's upright. The stable firm when it's upright, that is the firm. It is the royal family, one of the cards for the royal family. It's in reverse. He sees that the royal family has been destabilized by this making off energy with the Seven of Swords, and he sees that it needs an injection of new energy to stabilize it. And also, so the two things with the Four of Wands, very close to home and not so close to home. So the not so close to home is the royal family as an enterprise, an institution, and then close to home because I'm sure that the past few years have been tremendously stressful. However much they've tried to protect the children from the stress that William and Catherine are going through personally. We've seen one of the parents end up in hospital recently with seemingly quite a serious health situation. So let's move on to the parents, William and Catherine. How do they feel about Prince George being set off to work at the age of, I think it was 18 that was suggested. William first. Prince William. The High Priestess in reverse. This card is showing up all the time, all over my readings, and it is the card of mysteries, holy mysteries, sacred mysteries, women's business, that kind of thing. But it is a mystery card. And it always makes me work to try and figure out what it actually means. I'm almost getting with this one that there is something to do with, I always say mockingly, Mummy Diana when I'm talking about Harry, but there's something about, it's making William think about his own mother and his own childhood, his upbringing, with a mother who is no longer there, the mother who has moved into the realm of mystery. And absence and the ultimate silence, because the High Priestess is about silence and secrets, and women, mysterious women, disappeared women, and it's making him think a lot about his mother. So he's not really thinking about Prince George so much. He's thinking about his own life and his own relationship with her and how it was for him. And they've obviously tried very hard, William and Catherine, given his experience and given how badly wrong things went with Harry, to try and do things differently with their children. And seemingly their children are quite well adjusted to this weird life that they're living. But Prince William is remembering it in a... it's not dialer psychic kind of a way. He might even be having strange dreams right now about stuff that went on, or mother appearing in strange dreams and things like that. As I say that, I'm feeling a little bit faint, and yes, it's silly hot here. It is late afternoon now, it's calming down. I don't faint, it's not the kind of thing that I do. It was an energy thing that I felt. So let's move on to Catherine, who's having her own troubles right now, and we'll look at them again. The Lovers in reverse. Wow, this has been a source of conflict, and I have kept seeing conflict in readings, and yes, I know there are all kinds of awful rumors about why she might be in hospital, that the sugars are spreading. I haven't felt the need to spread them any further here on this channel, in case you're wondering why I haven't read on them directly. Every now and then I go through them and I sort of recoil from the energy that they give, and I don't want to give them any airtime. I might, but this is something that I think they really have fallen out over with the Lovers in reverse. It's something I think that she feels needs to be held off for as long as humanly possible. And of course, Prince William was given a lot of time to live his own life. The late Queen allowed him and Catherine to really not get involved in royal business much at all. They both got quite a bad reputation, which was picked up and carried by let's call it Meghan adjacent people, with all the weighty-catey stuff, and William being lazy and hardly working, and even hardly working as the air ambulance person. There was a lot of criticism of William and Catherine when they were in their 20s. But I think she thinks that that was fundamental to the fact that they have stayed together and they have survived as a couple, and now both seem to be quite enjoying their royal duties. So I think this is a source of real disagreement between William and Catherine, with the Lovers in reverse. How about the ones in California, Harry and Meghan? How do they feel about Prince George suddenly appearing on the scene in public and everyone fawning over him, and him the most popular thing ever, as no doubt would happen, but we'll find out, because as I say, he does seem to be quite shy and empathetic rather than a brash kind of Prince Harry character. But let's look at Harry's feeling about this. Ooh, King of Swords. This is the ruthless want to make it stop kind of energy. If I could make it stop, I would. you know, send them to the tower, Richard III. It's that kind of energy. It's that ugly energy, the King of Swords in reverse. It brings out the cruel and vicious, ruthless kind of energy. This is me as a tarot reader telling you this. This is what I'm getting from the card that's coming out there, the King of Swords in reverse. He's almost like, well, I'm going to talk to my lawyers about this, because King of Swords is lawyers as well, and clever people. People who know stuff. People who are experts in things, strategists, those kinds of people. So he doesn't like it, he would like to stop it, and if he could, he would block it quite ruthlessly. How about Meghan? How does she feel about this, that not Archie but George will be the one doing this if it all goes according to plan? Temperance, that's quite funny. It tells me we need to reconcile, it dawned on her. And our next reading is going to be on the person they have picked to help them reconcile. Fergie to the rescue in our second reading today. Temperance card, we need to fix this. Get over yourself, you has been you. It might be a reason to stick around in the marriage, or at least to stick around as mother of Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, so that they too can get their chance at roiling. Because this is bringing harmony back into a situation, being patient, being temperate in your behavior, being angelic instead of devilish. So that Five of Rods that's in reverse over there, she has the sense that this needs to stop, the conflict needs to stop. It's finally dawned. Way too late. Way too late, as far as we're all concerned. But the way I'm reading this Temperance card is that she thinks, be patient, mend the bridges, hang around and wait and see, and let's slide Archie a little bit in there. Because they are prince and princess, technically. Allegedly. Well, we don't need to say allegedly. Well, some people may question that because a mystery is around both of them. But that is the mother's thinking. Very interesting. So outcome. Is Prince George going to start roiling at an early age? Are we going to see this actually manifest and actually come to pass? Oh, yes. Yeah, he's determined. He's absolutely determined, the Chariot. I'm not going to stop this one. He's decided this, and it's going to happen. And the Chariot normally has someone driving a chariot, pulling together two opposing energies, and that would be pulling together the lovers here who are divided over this question. And so Prince George is going to get them to come together and agree on something, some way that this is going to happen, and he's going to do it. Cancerian energy. Cancerians are very good at getting things going and organizing that in a kind of a structured way, in a business-like kind of a way. Despite all the feels and all the stuff that goes on, they can be quite pragmatic and just getting stuff done. And so there it is. That's a very powerful and impressive card. How's it going to go for him? Dare I ask? It does make me anxious when I see that over there. It makes me anxious. How's it going to go for him? The World in reverse. It's going to be difficult. It is going to be difficult. So many things are flooding at me. It's a bit of a hamster wheel energy, first of all, the World when it's in reverse. Once he gets on that wheel, he doesn't get off. It's not a job you can decide when you're 20. Oh, hey, I actually really don't want to do this. You know, like the rest of us can, or did, or could. Oh, don't want to be a doctor. Actually, I want to be, I don't know. I want to be a yoga teacher in Bali. Sorry, you know, you've spent your life savings on university fees, but off I go. Can't do that if you've signed up to be a working member of the royal family, because that is what happens. Seven of Swords, that's how it's viewed. It's viewed as almost a criminal act. I said almost. So once he's on that wheel, the wheel goes round and round, and he goes round and it doesn't stop. It's also very public, the world, for me in these royal readings, and it means that once he becomes a public figure, again, he can't become a private figure. So when he's figuring out his relationships and all of that he's going to be going through in the next few years, many years, it's going to be public. And lots of stuff that he might want to be kept private is going to be public. So it's going to be difficult for him. It's not telling me it's going to be a huge disaster and a huge failure. That's not the energy I'm getting from it. I'm getting someone who's absolutely determined and who's going to push through with this idea. Assuming we continue on this timeline and everything stays the same. But he's going to find it difficult in ways that he can't perceive now, as still a child, more or less. And there is going to come a time when he's going to wish that he could stop this wheel and get off this wheel and have a private life and go and find himself and explore and try things out and try relationships out and careers out and whatever. And no, you can't, sorry. You're a working royal and you've got to go and cut that ribbon at whatever hospital and shake all those people's hands. Difficult. It's going to be difficult for him, and we're all going to be watching on the sidelines, watching his struggles. But there it is. That's the reading. Let's wish him good luck. He's going to need it. And I'll see you on the next reading.